sure you just got a minute to read from How They Croak. I've been having a fun time reviewing it as I'm looking at your informational essays. And just to remind you, your informational essay is not a retelling of How They Croak. In fact, don't focus on the death. You could say a little bit about that because this is one of your sources that you read about to find out about the person. But you need to have those three sources, and it's mostly about their life. I've corrected all, or I've looked at all of your essays and given you grades for how much of it you got so far on your informational. A lot of you need to go back in and look at the comments, look at what you need to do, and go ahead and revise. Okay, but now, back to argument. So Mrs. Mace, do you remember her? You've been here like
I
once,
don't think I've
maybe?
even met all of you.
So, yeah,
I've been here with Mrs. Dorsey for a long time, but I haven't been in this class very much.
She's been here more on B days. But anyway, Mrs. Mace, she's a student teacher, and she's gonna be here for a lot more next year. But so right now, she's doing some practice, and she's got some good things to teach you. So this is back on argument, and something to make sure that you have for your argument essays.
There we go. So who remembers the last argument essay you wrote?
Yeah, I
Vaguely. It's been a while. It was really short though, wasn't it? You guys had to write a timed one a couple weeks ago. So we're gonna review something that Mrs. Dorsey said, hey, this would be a really good thing to talk about. Some of you have this, but not all of you. And I want you to remember it. So we're going to do an activity that hopefully will help you to remember it. So come up and get this blank piece of paper. You can put by your books if you want as well.
Actually, just leave them on your desk.
Okay.
No, don't leave them on your desk. Put them back when you're on your way up. I forget if we don't remember class. Thank you. That one I don't want to say. I know. This activity reminds me of that. Okay. Henson, you ready?
I don't know who that is.
He goes by age.
All right.
So I
well,
forgot. I should
so
have
much
told
for
you
the
that.
signature. Age?
Maybe next time.
Awesome.
I call him Henson sometimes, usually if he's misbehaving, right?
I still don't listen.
Okay, so on this paper, I want you to draw it into two columns. There's one line right down the middle. Do it long ways, like skinny.
Oh.
So hot dog way in half.
I need H Dyer for yearbook pictures, real quick.
Yeah, H. Okay, real quick.
I mean Henson.
And here's what we're gonna do. I have the instructions on the board so you can read as I'm explaining this. But the first step is that column, and then next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you two characters. You'll all know who they are, and they're probably not best friends. So the title of this is Pick Your Enemy and Prove Them Wrong. And later we'll apply this to essays, but first we're gonna do this activity, and then we'll talk about it after. So these two characters, like for example, the Joker and Batman. Yeah. So I'll give you those, and you're gonna write them in each of the columns. Don't write those now, that was an example, but later, you'll write each of those names in one of the two columns. Then, after that, I'm going to give you a question, like, we'll do this example in a minute. Which is better, face paint or masks? And each of those characters probably has an opinion about that. So you're gonna write in each column the opinion that that character would have about that question. Then below that, write 2 reasons that they would think that. And then later, after you've all written your responses on the paper, I'm gonna call on 2 people to come up and share with the class. It'll be kind of like a debate, even. So we'll go back and forth. Batman will say one thing, and then the Joker will say one thing, and then the reason, and then the reason, and we'll go back and forth like that. And then we'll do something after that as well. Does everyone get that to this point? Give me a thumbs up if that was clear. Or like middle, if like not so much, or down. We're gonna do an example, and then we'll see if that makes more sense. So in this example, I'm on this side, I'm a big Batman. You like Batman better?
Toot toot. Oh, come on now, Joke, you're the best. Batman's
Okay.
Joker is brilliant.
So the question is, the question's what I said, which is better, masks or face paint? So I think masks are better.
And face paint's better, any day, any day.
I think that because some people could have allergic reactions to face paint.
Yeah, but it's hard to see and hear when you're wearing a mask.
But
I mean,
really,
haven't you guys done that at Halloween? Sometimes it's hard to see and hear.
Sometimes you can't hear.
That was an example.
but a mask hides your real face and it can protect your identity better.
Come on now. With face paint, you can show your expressions. You show them exactly how you feel. Yeah, just like that.
Okay, so we're gonna do that together as a class with 2 students up in front, and then those 2 students will sit down again, and everyone is going to write this next part on your paper. You're gonna take a reason from the other person's argument, picking your enemy, and then you're gonna prove them wrong. So for example, I said some people think you can't hear in a mask, so I took her reason, but good masks are designed to prevent that.
Yeah, but they're too expensive.
Some masks are just not good, but others are.
Hey, if you're
That's my argument.
Bruce Wayne, if you're Bruce Wayne, you can afford that. But no, I'm arguing for her now. Wrong.
So who knows what that's called in an essay? Does that sound familiar at all? Rebuttal and a counterclaim. Good. So that's what we're practicing today. And this is the concept behind counterclaim. When you're writing, you have your argument, but you always have to think of who your enemy might be. You have to pick your enemy. Who's gonna think the opposite thing that I'm thinking? You have to pick one of their reasons and then prove it wrong. So pick your enemy and prove it wrong. We're gonna practice that today. Give me a thumbs up if that makes more sense now. Middle down. Yeah? Okay, let's do one, and then if you have questions, ask me more questions, okay? Or ask a question now. Yeah. Yes.
Look, yes, we're doing the Batman.
That was just an example. I'm sorry, I'm sure you felt really strongly about that. But our next example, I'm just gonna tell you. So write down these 2 characters. Katniss and President Snow. I also need someone to explain who those people are, just in case someone hasn't seen those movies or read the books. Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
Katniss.
Everyone listen.
Katniss is a hot girl off the Hunger Games.
That's the best explaining I've ever heard.
Okay, hold on. Snow. Yeah.
He looks like a frog.
Okay, what does he do though?
He tries to kill everybody.
Okay. He's like the president of this government, and Katniss is apparently really hot in this movie. And she tries to take the president down. Okay?
So who's
So
hotter?
if you don't know who those people are, you can talk with your neighbor a little bit, okay?
Who are those?
You ready for the question? I don't think you're ready.
It smells.
Here's the question. Is the rebellion against the government a good thing?
Yes.
Sure.
Wait, what? What, I didn't.
Maybe you don't, but Katniss and President Snow both have opinions about it. So talk to your neighbor, maybe she can help us out.
Why didn't you do the test in the middle of Divergent?
Or like girl from the
Kind of
Paul.
the same.
Katniss always.
So you should be writing down their opinion on the question, is the rebellion against the government a good thing?
Why does it have that?
So write down the opinion each person would have about that question. Once you've written down that opinion, write down 2 reasons that they would think that. How we doing? We ready? Not yet? Okay, 1 more minute. So it's for both characters, not just for one of them. Okay, I'm gonna call on 2 people. I want you to come up and do exactly what Mrs. Dorsey and I did. Just go back and forth, okay? So Kaylee, will you come up and be Katniss? Keely. Sorry.
She's
And
really good though, she's kind. Remembers me.
So I go.
almost. Blake, will you come up and be President Snow?
Hey, that's so cool, you got chosen. And like, is that typecasting?
Blake, why don't you start?
President Snow says, no, because the government has helped our world survive.
Awesome.
If you had a president like Snow, then yes, he leads the rich and kills the poor.
Awesome.
Our way of dictating is fair. President Snow divides people into districts on how wealthy they are and kills them by having them kill each other.
That doesn't sound good. What do you
Now I
think?
do the report. So I said some people might say the government is not fair, but really we are just making them earn it by fighting for them.
It's pretty convincing. Did you come with a rebuttal already? You want to say what you have?
Yes. If he had like a good way of maybe like helping the poor, then yes, maybe he would probably do better. But they have to fight for their food, which they shouldn't have to.
Okay. That was great. How'd they do? Did you hear those reasons? How about the last one? Sound like a counterclaim? Okay. For some of you who didn't write a counterclaim yet, draw a line and then write your own. It can be one of the ones that they said or draw from your own list. And then we're gonna do it again. You can sit down now. Thank you. So, counterclaim. This is where Katniss has to pick something that President Snow said, just like Keely did. Well, maybe if he had a good program for the poor, it would be good, but he just makes us fight.
Yeah, how would you counter the idea? He says it's fair.
Pretty convincing.
You say they're saving the world.
Yes,
They
so
did
you're doing
just
one for both.
save the world.
Wait.
Good job. Okay, let's do one more together. This time our two characters are Santa and the Grinch.
The Grinch all the way.
Yeah, so you can have your opinions, but remember you have to do both sides and be convincing. Alright?
Okay, what's the question?
The question is, should children receive presents on Christmas? Well, okay, let's say Grinch before he had a change of heart. Before his heart grew 3 times that night. So the mean Grinch versus the nice Santa.
Should children receive? No. No.
So write your opinion, 2 reasons.
Well, we don't choose if we want presents. Our parents just kind of give us presents.
Good point. You're using a willing suspension of disbelief for presents. You're writing as if you believe it.
That's how I spell Santa. I spell it Samantha.
Samantha.
Yeah, Samantha. Grinch. The Grinch deserves to be in big letters because he's a big. The Grinch is so big. I love it. I started watching this movie in June last year. You started watching? Yeah, I was hungry. It's just sad.
Let's go Grinch.
Makes them greedy.
Sounds like a good argument.
Then greedy.
them bad.
Eats the cookies. The Grinch?
Dude, that's the only reason why our parents do it. Because make cookies.
Hey, write it on your paper. I got a good one. I don't know.
Which one?
Grinch.
Make something. Samantha. I don't have anything for Samantha. I guess my heart's just that small.
It will cook gifts for
Okay, one more minute.
Right on the calculator. Finished?
Man, you guys all have more written for the Grinch than for Santa.
Grinch is amazing.
Okay, I'll go for Grinch.
Okay, H can be the Grinch,
Yes.
M can be Santa for us.
Oh my gosh. Is there no one Santa?
If you win, you might not get presents this year.
You know what? My parents will not know about this.
Alright, Santa, start us off.
Don't say anything.
Do we just say everything in and reason or just?
Just start with your opinion.
Okay, yes. Presents should be received for Christmas.
What do you think, Grinch?
Presents are bad because
Wait, don't say your reason.
Yes. What?
Wait. Santa has to say your reason first.
So presents bring delight and joy to children.
They sure do.
It makes them greedy.
Oh,
But presents do award them for good behavior and service.
Ooh.
But if they don't share, then it makes the kids hate each other.
Oh, no.
Sharing problems.
Yep.
Do you say a rebuttal?
Yes.
Okay, although presents might spoil a child and make them forget the true purpose of Christmas, they're still sharing the time of their present.
True. Okay, Grinch, what's your
Say you won't have to do Santa cookies. I don't want a rebuttal because I didn't know what her reasons were.
Looks
for.
like the
Yeah, I've heard
Grinch
them.
lost.
Okay.
But he's heard them now, so
Okay,
maybe.
yeah. Okay. So, even though it might make the kids happy and stuff, even though it might make the kids happy, it makes them like just jealous and makes them
I don't want to hate their family.
Yeah.
Can I add something to this?
Yes.
I think that you're jealous of other kids because some people are richer than others.
That's True. What else?
Santa does.
Well, I guess this is what I was getting.
Can everyone hear what Aaliyah's saying?
This is what it is that, it brings joy to some really good presents for those kids around the world.
What do you think?
And she said that it brings the family closer together and you can spend family time, but you can spend family time with them anytime, so why you gotta have a holiday?
Does anyone want to back up Santa?
Think of all the cookies.
Let's just get rid of Santa.
Okay, thank you. Sit down now. Okay.
The Grinch is real.
I know. Dude, I love. See, Santa's not real, but the Grinch is.
So we don't just get to do this in a little activity or game. You get to do this anytime you write an argument essay. So when you're thinking about a counterclaim, what's the first thing you can do? Who are you supposed to pick? Pick your enemy. Pick your enemy. So when you sit down and they give you a topic like, should students be able to bring cell phones to school?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So who would be your enemy for that? Someone raise your hand.
Principal.
Who would be your enemy? What do you think? Aaliyah? Aaliyah. Both Aaliyah? So totally different. Okay. Aaliyah. Who is your enemy there? Okay.
Parents.
Teachers, parents, good. Okay, and what would you say to prove them wrong? Yes.
During an emergency, they can use it to call their
Ooh, emergency, feelings of danger. That's good. What else? How else would you prove them wrong? Yeah,
you
all
could
you.
use the opposite.
Wait.
Online class. I forgot.
To play games.
Play games?
Oh, yeah.
Probably not as
How else
convincing.
would I
Good.
learn fast?
Oh, that was
To play games? Okay. So this is what we want to do for our counterclaim. Pick your enemy and prove them wrong. Good. That's all I have.
Excellent, thank you. Let's give her some applause. All right, so that was a fun activity. We're going to have a chance. We're going to have a chance to go into the computer lab, so you can work on revising your essays. For your argument essays, what I would do is to look on your Skyward grades and see where you've got zeros on there. So if you've got a 0 or a low score on your counter argument, that's the very first thing I'd go and work on. Remember to pick your enemy and prove them wrong, right? So some people take what their enemy would say and then they prove them right. Oh, I was going, no, that's not supporting your argument. Anyway, don't do that. Then do check your counter argument. Check anything else you have a 0 on your argument essay, and then you can go ahead too, if you have time, and check on your informative essay. Again, check and see where you're missing things on your grade, and you might want to read over the columns again to see exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, and this is just a good reminder. I really like this, that some of the other teachers were reminding me. So, for both informational and argument writing, check your paragraphs for P, okay? Do that. Okay, so make sure your body paragraphs make your point, back it up with